02. So you know what? We waited July the 24th on Monday. It's a beautiful Monday. That's right. And I just want to thank all of you guys for being here tonight. I just want to thank Yahweh for all of the grace that He's given us this week. And one of the things that I like to really hear is praise reports. And I got to tell you, every time I turn around, I got one of you guys popping out of the crack somewhere saying, "Hey, this stuff really worked. Hey, man, you did a really great job." Or, "Hey, man, it all worked out perfect." Brian and I were talking this past week, and, he was telling me about his situation, and we don't need to go all into it because it's personal. But basically, he paid for a lawyer to help him out, quite a bit of money. And the guy just left him on hold, literally took his money, went on vacation, left Brian on hold, said, "I don't care," and did him just like that. And, in Texas, we have laws and rights and rules. So you can't just arrest somebody and just don't do anything for years. And literally his attorney, the one he paid him, the one he paid for legal advice, told him, "Well, that thing could last up to 2 years if they really wanted it to." Assuming you made a plea, assuming you went in and did something, not just arrested you, made you make bond like they do in the movies. You ever notice that when everybody gets in trouble in the movies? Oh, Magnum goes down and he just makes bond and out he goes, and that's it. He never goes back to court. Nothing ever happens again. Well, in the great state of Texas and in most other states, that is a breach of rights. And here's why. They're going to hate me for saying this, but I don't care. It's going on YouTube, so write it down because your lawyers won't tell you this. But it breaches your right to speedy trial. You all have a right to speedy trial. So when they pluck you out of society, like they did to me in Houston County 3 times, and don't prosecute you, and they just and just let you hang in the wind out there for 3.5 years now. When they do these sorts of things, these are attacks. These are breaches of your rights. And sorry about that. We have to, and we have a responsibility to the public trust. See, you always hear these yahoos that are out there, and they get up on their milk crates, and they want to start talking, and they start talking about, well, they need to, they don't talk about what your responsibilities are. You have a responsibility. If you don't stand up and say something, they're going to take your lunch money. And those of you that didn't learn that when you were in school, you better get yourself together, because somebody's going to take your milk money every single day. And guys, they're doing it. One of the things that we're going to talk about tonight is, hold on a second. I want to get through the rest of the praise reports. Anyway, let me finish this story. So I almost ran out of story, Brian. I'm sorry. So in a nutshell, I get this text message or, instant message from Brian, and he goes, "Man, thank you so much for telling me about that speedy trial thing. I went down to the bondsman and I got the whole case discharged, dismissed, did it all himself. And it did not matter what color the flag was. It did not matter what color the drapes were. Nobody needed to see an oath of office. That wasn't necessary, was it? Did you need to go down and threaten everybody and say, 'All right, that's it, stick them up, I want all your bonds'? Did you have to do that? Nope. You didn't have to do any of that. We didn't have to go rent a white van and go pick up their children. We didn't have to do none of that gangster stuff. This was all clean. Do you know why? Because this man was telling the truth. And whenever you have truth, absolute truth, Yahweh dwells within that. Yeah, even for the unrighteous. They still use Betty Crocker there too. It's still measurement. It's all the same. And so he tells me, "Hey man, I got it dismissed. Everything's done." And then he tells me about, and then I was like, "Dude, I got to call him." So I call him on the phone and I tell him, we start talking, and he goes, "Yeah," his lawyer calls him up and tells him, "Well, maybe we ought to get something started, and this and that." And he's like, "Dude, I am so thinking of a finger. Do you know which one it is?" That was the phone call we had. Yes. That's about right. Yeah, that's about what he said. So the next thing you need to do is you need to ask for his insurance, and you need to ask for a certified copy of your contract. And also go ask him for his billing too. And then make an appointment with me and we'll do the rest. We'll roll them over and we'll cook them on the other side. Okay. Just make an appointment with me. Okay. We're good at this. We do this all the time. I got you, brother. And that's not even all this week. That's not even, I mean, that was pretty good, right? All right. I got you a better one. And this is better than me going into court on the 10th, actually. So Derek and Lance are the two guys that are involved with what's going on also just north of Houston County. And they have a pretty big lawsuit up there with their family members involved and so forth. And I don't want to get into too much detail about that, but you guys can look it up. It's under Thin Blue Line. And it is happening. This stuff is happening. He has a hearing set up on the 16th. But anyway, we have grown kind of close. I mean, not like that close, but I mean, like, I mean, not like that close, but like close. Like he's my homie. Like, we just kind of see each other, and you know how when you just run into somebody that you used to just mess around with when you were kids and y'all used to go get in trouble. Oh yeah, these are my people right here. Anyway, and they are just perfect public hell raisers, but all cured up now. We're all on the same team and we're all serving Yahweh, which is nice. And he had a surgery. To make a long story short, he had a surgery that he had to go through. He was in Baja, California, because he's smart. And they had to go in and chisel some stuff out of his mouth and stuff. Oh, it was hardcore. And he's looking 10, 12 weeks of recovery time to do this, right? To get better. He tells me what happened. I know. I was holding my mouth too while he was saying it. I was like, oh, God, they're scraping it too. Yeah, they were scraping it and banging it. And like he just projected all this crap on me. So I saw it all. Oh, it's terrible. Anyway, he's typing this out to me and telling me this in Messenger. And this is right before last week's call. Or this is during last week's call, actually. And if y'all saw him, he was all walking around. He didn't have a shirt on. That's why he didn't have a shirt on. It's because he was in the hospital and he was in recovery. We prayed that night after, the surgery had happened, because he was really just typing. And I just prayed with him and just hit record. I got to tell you, it's powerful. And the next day he went to go see the doctor. He shot me a praise report and said, hey, I'm completely healed. Like his mouth made 100% recovery. Like, how is that even possible? All things are possible. When you reach out to Yahweh and you have truth on your side, when you walk in the door, Brian, and you tell him, hey, man, this is the truth. That's what sets you free. Not that lawyer, nothing else. And I got to tell you guys, this whole system, this whole matrix that we're in, and it really is, it's a bunch of different matrices, actually. And there's only one matrix we're supposed to be living in, and that's Yahweh's matrix. Once we walk outside that matrix, you're on your own. And you know what? Everybody in this room and everybody on this call can shake their head and go, yep, I know what on your own feels like. I know what that feels like. It's a dark place. It's a lonely place. But when you're standing in honor, you can do anything. You can overcome anything. My dog yesterday, had a stroke. She's 13. She's old. And she's my other old lady. I got her and Rusty around the same time, a little bit after a year or so after Rusty. I can't really remember, but she had a stroke. She could not walk around this morning. I sent her to the vet today with the intention of probably putting her down. She's walking around my house today right now. No explanation. So if you're looking for grace, you're in the right place because it's overflowing and it's everywhere. But we have to be on our guard, you guys. We can't just sit around and wait for all the rainbows to hatch all the good stuff. It doesn't work that way. Sometimes we got to chase that rainbow. Sometimes we got to run for that prize. And when we are protecting our trusts, we have to be careful. There's a lot of bad contractors out there. I posted a video on TikTok today about the DDE, which is daily driven exotics. That's what they are. Yeah, daily driven exotics. And they have a pretty cool channel. I've been watching them for a couple of years now. And, they drive around in Lamborghinis and they can just fart $1,000 oil changes every 2,000 miles. And it's okay. It's fine with them, because that's just what they do. And that's where they are. And it is kind of exciting because I used to work on those kinds of cars. So, it's kind of funny to watch them tear them up and they're like, I know what you did. It's just kind of funny. For me, it's kind of entertaining. Anyway, um, like you can't do burnouts in an all-wheel drive car. If you do, you're going to damage things like all the time. So every time I see somebody hit a GTR and go, it's like, oh, it's going to get expensive. Just stuff like that. Sometimes I get entertained. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is that they had a show today and basically there was a repo person that was out to pick up their vehicles. Really had it up on the trailer, boom, and out they go, right? And like these guys pay their bills. What's that all about, right? And the guy's down there, you could see the look on his face. He's in complete honor. He knows he is. He can show on his phone. He can show the driver on his phone where it is. And then you got his stupid friend over there going, well, you're just gonna have to let him take it. And then you can, work it out in a week or two. If you have friends like that in your life, get rid of them. Okay. If you have sympathizers, that's what I call them, sympathizers. The ones that say, oh, it's always just your fault. You know what? You're just going to have to eat it this time. Those people, get them out of your life. Okay. Seriously. They're a cancer. They will destroy your ambitions. They will destroy you. And that's what they're there to do. Satan waits every day because he ain't got nothing else better to do. And these demons that are stuck here on this planet right now, they can't go anywhere else. They can't go up. They can't go down. They're just stuck here too. And you know what? They got nothing else better to do than to play around with mediums and play with people's emotions and make people cry about people that are dead. All of you people that have lost people, they're sleeping. They're not getting up. They don't see you. They might have seen you when they left, but once they go to sleep, they go to sleep and they're going to stay there. Okay. That's a fact. I know we talk to our people. I still talk to my dad all the time too. But the reality is that's what it is. So anyway, not to get off topic, but anyway, let's go back to DDE. So what happened in that exchange? The bank just breached his contract. Yeah. They sent somebody there to steal the car. Now, let's define stealing the car. As long as it's hooked up on that tow truck, it belongs to the tow truck. He's already repossessed the car. It's done. Okay. So he has automatic recourse. And what does his friend over there do? He goes and gets him some spring water. Really? For the repo guy. He should have got a bat and told him to put the car down. Stupid. Because we have to understand that these are breaches of contract. And when these things happen, we cannot be tolerant to this. You have recourse. When your lenders tell you, hey, they don't want to service your contract, it happened to me. When your lenders hang up on you because they don't want to talk to you anymore, that's happened to me. You don't have to put up with that. What you have to do is address it. Okay? How do we address it? What are we doing? We're showing equity. So while you have a conversation that's up in the air, that's up in the clouds, so I hear a lot of people that do this when they want to go to court. They say, oh, I'm going to go to court and I'm going to grandstand and I'm going to explain the whole thing. He's going to understand everything. We're all going to go home. Everything's going to be good. That's not true at all. Why? Because they already have everything worked out before you get there. They've had time to plan. And you're just going to walk in there like it's Judge Wapner's court and just show everybody. And everybody's going to be, oh, we better do what he says. He told the truth. Okay. You got me, man. Okay. No, it's not going to happen. You're dealing with liars. These temples that you're going into, these courthouses, these are temples. There's no Yahweh in there. There's none of that in there. So this class that we have coming up, it's specifically for that. Are you going to beat these guys in law? Nope. All these guys that are all blah, blah, blah about law back there. Hey, did you know in Texas, you can get charged? Ready for this? You can get charged with disorderly conduct and you can be thrown in jail if you use any kind of cursing language in public. Did you know that? It's on the books. It's called disturbing the peace. But who actually gets thrown in jail for that? Nobody. So what does that mean? There's no equity. So when these guys go and dig up laws from 1764, or they bring in the English Magna Carta, it's because we're going to explain everything and we're going to give everybody a history lesson. Dude, you have no equity behind what you're doing. And don't believe me? Look at what they got. They got a ticket. They got a presentment. They got an indictment. They got something. Otherwise, you wouldn't be going poop, poop, poop through those doors. Huh? They wouldn't ask you to jump on the ship. They don't invite people out there for Tupperware parties. No. They're there to do some commerce. And if you notice in Dallas, Texas, those of you guys that live in Dallas, in the Dallas area, what street is the courthouse on? No, the main courthouse in downtown Dallas. It's on Commerce Street. It's on Commerce Street. It really is. No kidding. Hey, guess what? Guess what street the courthouse here is on in San Antonio? It's on Commerce Street, East Commerce Street. So we're really directing the flow here now. Come on, man. It's right here in front of you. All you have to do is look it up and pay attention and stop thinking these people are here to help you. One of the things that we're going to learn in my class and we're going to talk about is the application process. The application process is a begging process. You're begging. You hear me? You're begging. Why? How? How am I just begging? Well, by definition, you're begging. How's that? Okay. If that's not good enough, let's put the equity behind it. You have made yourself completely vulnerable to the lender. They could destroy you. All they'd have to do is double your payment. All they would have to do is maybe triple your payment. All they would have to do is raise your property taxes. All they have to do. So who's in control? They are. So when they do stupid stuff and they show up to your work and your beautiful $200,000 Porsche is up on a tow truck when it shouldn't even be on that anyway, it should be on a flatbed. He's asking for trouble already. I'm telling you. You'd be glad Tim Deveron wasn't there. Anyway, so what I'm saying is that we have a real position. Those of you guys that have seen some of the TikTok videos where I'm talking about the security agreement, people have no idea what a security agreement is. Take my class. I'm going to tell you exactly what a security agreement is. Well, I'll tell you right now what it is. It's fine. A security agreement is basically an agreement that umbrellas a bunch of other agreements. Have you noticed that when you sign your truth in lending statements, they're all a bunch of little boxes? You notice that? There's like a box for this and a box for that. That's not artwork. Those are boxes. And what do we know about boxes? You create, that's literally something. That's literally an agreement right there in every one of those little boxes. So when you have a security agreement and it performs, if all of those boxes are performing, what do you have? You have equity. You have equity. Why? Because everybody is acting as such. They're performing. You're making the payments. They're $236 a month, and you're making them before the 5th of every single month for the last 4 years. Because when you stop making your payments, they're not going to bring in your contract into court. Because it's not based on a contract anymore. Because they already sold the note. They already sold all that. It's based on your performance. So where are they hitting you at? They're hitting you in equity. So what does that tell you? You better learn something about equity. We better learn something about equity, huh? Because that's the game they're playing. It's not law. It's not statutes. There's a little bit of country and a little bit of rock and roll, but the big game is equity. You guys want to take this class? It's a wonderful class. And I'm going to show you how to foreclose on your lenders. I'm going to show you how to flip the script on them and put all that voodoo magic on them. When they dishonor you, if your contract is not good, see, if my bank showed up to my house, well, I don't have a bank anymore. But when I did have a bank, if they would have showed up to my house and they would have hooked up to my car, which it's just sitting in the driveway, by the way, nobody's touching it. And if they were to hook up to my car in the driveway, I wouldn't be getting him a drink. I might be getting him a tourniquet. I might be getting him an ice pack, some smell salt to wake him up. But there'll be none of that. And on my house, there's a $5,000 sign. So if you come and ring my doorbell, you come on the property, it's $5,000. Well, that means I'm going to impound your truck too. And you can just get. Yeah, we have a lot of power if we have a lot of notice. If you know how to set yourself up for business, you're going to be successful. If you know how to set yourself up for failure, guess what? You're going to be successful. It's true. And this is what I'm going to teach you in this class. This is the second class out of 4 that we offer. And all of these are equity based. So what I'm going to teach you how to use is our common law courts. We're not going to just talk about it and roll down the window and go, I'm operating in common law today. And there's still a cop car behind you. We're not going to be doing that because that just makes you look dumb. We want to be private, do we not? We don't want to be seen, do we? Okay. But you want to be heard. And when you talk, it needs to mean something because you're speaking in truth. How do we make all that stick? Equity, 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 equity. And if you do these things right, you'll win, and you'll win every time. Oftentimes I hear people say, don't contract with these people. Don't do anything with these people. And that might be some good advice. But if you know the game and you understand equity and you understand what they're doing, you got a shot. And maybe you should contract with them. Maybe you should start learning to contract rather than just sitting there and being a bystander to your own demise. Yeah. I've seen people get carried out, literally carried out of their house on a couch that was getting repossessed. And these people were realtors. Realtors. They did this for a living. If there's anybody that should know exactly how all this is put together, it should be them. But can I tell you, my parents are realtors and they're just as compartmentalized. They know this much about the Electronic Signatures Act. All they know is you can put it on that pad right there. That's what you do. They have no idea how it's used, the limitations of it, what was granted to us, what's available to us. Did you know you could withdraw it? Did you know you could withdraw your electronic signature? You can. Take this class. I'll show you how to do it honorably, and it'll stick. Now, I'm going to take a break. I have a special guest tonight, and I love these praise reports. Like this week has been like maximum overdrive on praise reports. And so without further ado, I'm going to turn this thing over and we're going to tell you about my paperwork. We're going to tell you about, he got some information. Now, here's what I am going to tell you. The reason that I limit what I say on this call is because it's private. And you're going to hear a little bit about that and why I am discreet, why I went into private and just started teaching privately for quite a while before just recently. So anyway, I'm going to turn things over. I'm going to go and undo welcoming Missouri. Is it Reed Spring, Missouri, right? Is that where you're at, Carl?
Shelby say, yeah. Up here in Great Missouri, right in the center of the state.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, tell me about what's going on. So you're involved right now with challenging the lender on
Yep,
your vehicle, right?
yep, I am. I just today. Of course, I've been doing this since January 3rd with this lender before I took your class. By the way,
Okay.
who doesn't know, I was one of Tim's students, and I took the debt and equity class. And let me tell you, I can tell anybody this that I would highly recommend you all to take the debt and equity class because this is why. Just like Tim said, it's all about equity, contracting and equity. Um, I have a friend. He is a he retired as a federal judge. He worked on the state level as well as a prosecutor and also a state judge. He retired as a federal judge, so now he's completely retired. He's been a family friend for a long time. He's much older than me. Um, so anyway, I had brought my affidavits to him that I submitted. The one that I got, that Tim teaches a class, and I would show you those, but those are protected. Um, those are Tim's intellectual property, so I really don't want to show those until you take the class. So anyway, I'll just kind of tell you a little bit about them. The two that I took to the judge, well, I'll just refer to him as a judge. I took them two to him, and I said, "Hey, what is the reason? I mean, why am I getting responses back from these two affidavits?" Well, he said, "Let me see them." So I let him see them. He reviewed them. It didn't take him but a couple minutes to go, "Well, these are penetrable affidavits. They can penetrate these because they're non-specific to what you're doing." Now, I can't tell you a whole lot about it, but I can say this much. I took Tim's. I took him and I gave him Tim's, and I said, "Here, review this one here." He reviewed this one here, and it took him a little longer to review Tim's than it did the other two. He kind of pulled his glasses down afterwards, and he looked at me and he says, "This one is impenetrable. You can't penetrate this one." He said, "This is why. It's specific to what you're talking about, and you've got actual people listed in this one that is specific to what you're doing." I wish I could show you guys this, but I really can't. But this is this one that Tim teaches is very, very powerful. You guys don't understand what we have here. We got a powerful, um, we, what we're able to do here in equity is very, very powerful. And so I would highly recommend you take the class. Once you take the class, I guarantee you, you will not go wrong. But this is coming from a ex-federal judge. And so, anyway, for most of you guys don't know this, um, this is how we solve everything right here. I don't know if you guys can see this or not.
It's the book.
Yep,
He's got the book.
yep. And I will kind of show you a little bit about this book. I've got all kinds of little things here posted. It's a postal. I mean, there's just page after page. Now, so I can tell you today, in reference to what Tim's talking about, I'm dealing with this bank or this financial person and financial company. By the way, I looked last night. They have 122 cases pending in state court. Well, some of them has been done. 122 cases from January 3rd of 2023 until this current date. These people are pretty evil individuals. Now, I've seen everybody's name on there, but I didn't see my name on there.
Hmm.
This is why, because I'm doing everything in equity. So my stuff has already been settled with them. I've got a few more days left on this one here, and then I will foreclose on them.
There you
And
go.
but the repo guy showed up today. He didn't come up to my house. He just kind of drove by and was looking. So I got the information off of his vehicle, and I contacted the repossession company. And then today I sent them a notice of cease and desist letter, um, letting them know that this case has already actually been settled. So now if they come to my house and try to do anything, I attached a copy of the fee schedule with it. And if you take Tim's traveling and driving class, you'll actually get a you get a fee schedule. And so, and it's not specific to what we're doing here, but you can change it a little bit, and make it specific to what you're doing. And so anyway, so you'll get that in the traveling and driving class. But the whole thing is in equity, the thing that Tim teaches is very, very powerful. And I urge everyone to take that class. So,
Thank you, brother.
yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome, man. Thank you, man. And you know, and I got to tell you guys, this is something that's been left out. I'm not teaching something that's it's brand new and under the sun. This is something that they literally have taken out of the books. They're not teaching this stuff anymore. And they don't want people to learn this because they want you to be subservient to what they have to offer to solve your problems. And what they're offering is they want to monetize everything that's happening in your life. If you're going through, if you're losing your children, it's the worst thing that could ever happen. Doesn't matter what side of the table you're on that. Even if you're the children, it doesn't matter. You know, losing a parent, losing a child, losing all that is tough. And meanwhile, just like he was saying, these people make a business out of monetizing that. And they have no personal convictions about it. They have no personal convictions about making things right. This is why that place is such a dark place. This is why they have all the rituals that they have. If you look at how many squares they have all over the courtroom, look at how many steps there are between I mean, I'm serious. Just count the steps and you'll start seeing all these numerals in there of 6 and 9 and 12 and 3 and all over the place. And you'll start seeing that. And what you're going to realize is, well, if your brain is working and you're paying attention, you're going to see that you're in a church. You're just not in Yahweh's church. Because what happens when you go into a Catholic church? You see the water fountains, you see all the statue idols everywhere. There's Mother Mary over here, so you can go worship her. And then we got the beads and we got the candles and we got all these things to do in there, right? Well, guess what? Our courtrooms are decorated no different, especially here in Texas. These are Mason run courtrooms. Okay. And the only way you're going to win is absolute truth. The only way you're going to win is equity. If you have equity and law together, nobody can stand against that. Yeshua, when he spoke to Pontius Pilate, and they brought him to Pontius Pilate and said, "Hey, we're going to get it. We're going to get a conviction now. Come on now. This is still happening every day." And they brought him to Pontius Pilate. And Yeshua answered him in such a way he was able to speak over the situation because he had the equitable advantage. And what did he say? I can do nothing with this guy. And I'm going to tell you, July the 10th, that's exactly what happened to me too. He's still working. He's still in business, guys. He's still the refuge for anybody that seeks him. And I know this knowledge and I have this knowledge and gotten all this wisdom, if I could be humble enough to say that, but I got it from Yahweh. And I got it not because I went out and conquered all these kingdoms. I went out there, I got it because I humbled myself before him. And I knew I wasn't enough. I knew this morning when I got up, I wasn't enough. And I asked for Yahweh's grace so that I could be here tonight, go through with this thing with my dog today, and deal with everything else. You know what? We need to start looking towards that. He's not in a cross. He's not in any other pagan idol either. He's everywhere. And if you know his name, he'll come. Came for my friend Derek. It came for all of you guys. That's why we're here. That's why we met. That's why we know each other, Michael. It's true. It's because Yahweh made that connection. And I hope that we make more connections. I do. Sean, I hope that, actually we're going to be up in the Dallas area around the 16th. So, because I'm going to be in Tyler. So I'm going to be in Tyler on the 16th. We may come up to Dallas and stay up there because my legal team is actually up there in Longview. So we may actually go up to Dallas or Frisco. We stay in Frisco. Plano usually is where we stay at. So we'll hit you guys up if that's the case. Definitely like to hook up with you guys and meet all of you guys. And anywhere else that we ever go, we'll probably be just about anywhere. It just doesn't matter. But I encourage all of you guys. Go ahead, Sean.
I may have some papers for your wife to.
Oh, to notarize. Awesome. Okay. Well, let's do it, man. Let's do it.
Let me know when you're up here in Dallas.
Okay, buddy. That sounds good, man. Man, I remember the days in Garland. Boy, this is, you know what? If you ever go to Garland, Texas, and you're a teenager, you're going to learn everything about my travel class because those guys are persistent.
Don's Burger. It's a good
Huh?
burger. Don's Burger. It's a good burger.
Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I know y'all got some barbecue joints out there. They're pretty good out there. I've been hearing what they've been doing out there in Plano. Anyway, I want to thank all of you guys for being on the call tonight. I encourage all of you, if you're interested in taking the class or retaking the class, I'm not necessarily covering anything new, but there are some things in this class that have kind of evolved. And if you'd like to take a retake on it, it's only $175. Those of you guys that have taken the class before, it's just $175 to retake them again. And you're welcome to. If you're going through a situation, this is a good time to take a class. And this is why we do them once a month. Do I have time for 2 questions, 3 minutes? Of course. I thought we were all done. Shoot, brother.
Well, it's about some stuff with the filing. So I didn't know if you want to have me.
Yeah, we should talk. Yeah, we should talk about
Literally
that.
it's 2 minutes, but I don't want to do it here.
Yeah, let's not do that here. Yeah, because that's classwork stuff. But let's. Yeah, but it's filing, and we have to be very careful because
Yeah.
again, you just have to keep this stuff. Some of this stuff we just got. All this stuff we need to keep it under the desk, guys. So we just have to. But let's.
Literally, if you got like 2 minutes, it probably would literally take 2 minutes.
Yeah, let's do that. Hit me up tonight after the call. Just text me, and I'll give you a call back as soon as I'm available. I've got something I need to take care of. But I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. It was a wonderful call. You guys just popped on just a second ago. Y'all just came in a little bit late, but that's okay. I'm glad you guys made it here too. We had a really great call, but don't worry. We're going to upload this call to our YouTube channel, which is Living Life Without Contracts. Please check those out. And those of you guys that have that are just going through some stuff, if you got stuff going on, hit me up. You know what? We don't just talk about class stuff. I'm a little bit more than that. We can change gears. You guys need to pray about anything? You got something going on? You just need to talk. Hey, man, this old guy has seen a lot of things. And I just turned another click on the odometer, by the way. So, I guess it gave me about another 1/4 inch on the beard. So it must mean something. But I encourage you guys, we're here to help each other. It takes a village. And all of us, even those of you guys that are just now listening to this now, we're intersecting for a reason. There's a reason. Yahweh wants you to hear this for a reason. Yahweh wanted us to talk to each other for a reason. Because he has a plan. And the smartest thing we can do is submit to that plan. If we submit to anything else, you submit to failure. But as long as you're working for him, it doesn't matter how many tickets they write. You'll still win. So with that being said, go ahead, Sean. Go ahead.
Quick question. Say
Go
I
ahead.
got a family member. We both have property. Can both properties be put into a trust funding?
Please do. Do it. Yes. Yes. Put them in a trust and let that be your new bank account. That is your new bank. No more borrowing money from anywhere. You use a home equity line of credit, take care of everything.
Still trying to learn that.
Well, you take here's, you know what? We got time. It's because I didn't realize that we were actually cutting off the call earlier. I didn't realize that. I was thinking we were at the end there. It was so good. Anyway, sorry about that. So what happens is when you put your property into a trust, okay, your trust is more or less a holding company. And your holding company has the ability to do lots of things. It can transact loans. It can transact lots of things. So you want to use that trust as your holding company and as your source of paying for everything. So your home equity line of credit, all that stuff needs to be payable through your trust. Doesn't matter who does it. So, and then once you have a situation where you have equity and you're using the equity line to balance all those things, then you're just moving money in and out of your trust, which puts you in a better tax position too. You know, because there's you'll get it. You'll get it. You'll get it. You'll
Tim,
get it.
quick question. My bank asked me if I want to link my checkings
Yes.
regular account with my trust.
Yes, link everything with it.
Okay.
And the reason, and that's a great question, the reason that you want to link everything is because your trust will have the last say on anything. So there are certain credit unions that if they don't, you know, if you default or if you don't make a payment on something, they'll go after your other assets. and it doesn't happen too much in Texas because I think it's illegal. But I've seen it happen in New Mexico and other states where, you know, somebody got a car or somebody, you know, he had 3 cars. They had 3 car notes, let's say, and they fell behind on the house. Well, then they repoed the 2 cars, and then it just left the middle finger, which you know what that means, and that wasn't good. So when you have a trust that is overseeing all of the funds, then you have trust rules. And then the banks have to follow those trust rules. And if you have a good bank, they're going to take care of you. If you have a crappy bank, you're going to find out very quickly. My buddy and I had just lots of experience in that department. I will tell you that those of us that are walking around with the law books, and I just want to reiterate this, they're great, but you got to have the equity with it. You've got to have presentment. You've got to have acceptance. Got to have those elements, and without having those elements, you cannot have acceptance. But when you get acceptance, that's when you get to put the hammer down and just go. That's smoke the tires. It's time to go now. And because you've fulfilled all of your spots, I'm going to be talking more about that in the class coming up this week. It's going to be Thursday, Friday class. Yeah, it's a Thursday, Friday class, 26th, 27th class. And should be from 6 to 9 p.m. Central Time. It's going to be very open. So, and this class is going to do so many things. We're even going to be talking about cleaning your credit quickly, like fast. And then I have another guy. So if it's not fast enough, or if you don't want to do it, or if you're just one of those write the check kind of people, that's fine. I got somebody that'll do that for you too. And he can add trade lines. He can do all kinds of things. He's absolutely amazing. So this will be a one-stop shop, but this is to protect your trust. The purpose of this class is to keep people from stealing from you, because they will. They'll charge you fees. They'll charge you this. They'll charge you that. But when you start assessing those fees, you'll start seeing a lot less of this and that. And that's what we want to get to. We want to get into the seat where we're in control, not where we're just assuming they've got it handled over there. I hope everything's good. You know, that's not going to cut it, guys. Not in this day and age. It's just not going to cut it. So that being said, I think we'll go ahead and shut it down tonight. I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. I want to thank all of you guys for the questions, the praise reports. Absolutely amazing. Praise be to Yahweh for all the things that he's done. He's so good and so proficient. And I encourage you guys, if you have problems, if things are going on in your life, you know what? Schedule an appointment with me. Okay. Some of us, it might take you a year or 2 to get a ticket or something. Okay. If that happens, you know what? Schedule an appointment with me. Keep your paperwork, but schedule the appointment and we'll fix it. We'll make it right. I promise. So I want you guys to have a super blessed evening. We will see you guys next Monday night at 6 p.m. We're going to go the full hour. I've got 2 guests that are going to be on the call next week. I'm super excited. More praise reports, more successes, more fruits. That's what people want to hear about, right? We want to hear about all that lecture stuff. That's no fun. Let's get out the pom-poms, man. We're going to celebrate. Been a lot of people winning out there because of this. So we want to make sure that we acknowledge that. And more importantly, that we learn from it. Be blessed, everyone. We'll see you guys next Monday night, 6 p.m. Enjoy your evening, you guys.